I just got going out over the ocean, and I got bigger and bigger and bigger with the marijuana. So I bought a DC-3s, started hauling the DC.
Were you doing the same deal where you'd fly it over the ocean and then come in by the Channel Islands?
No, I started flying it up to across the Gulf of Mexico. I'd go down to Oaxaca or Colombia and get a load of DC-3 and put 3 tons in it. And then I would fly, and when I got about 200 miles out, of course, I'd seen all those oil wells out there and all those helicopter pilots and just loads of them coming back. Said, hey, that's the ticket. So I'd go and I'd come in just after dark, and there'd be 20 or 30 helicopters just blinking away, and I'd just slow down with them and come right in with a DC-3 or whatever I had.
And they just thought that it's funny in the movie American Made, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure. But they have that where the guy, they show the guy on the radar scope, and he goes, hey, look at this. And the guy goes, that's just a shell shift change helicopter.
That's right.
Yeah. Don't worry about that.
Okay. All right. So this is the stuff that us pilots are have a hard time wrapping our mind around what it was like back then. So you decide you want to go buy a DC-3.
Yeah.
Walk us through that.
Like, there's no internet. Where do you find a DC-3?
Just tell us how you acquire these.
Well, the guy at Orange County Aviation where I worked, I told him I'd like to have a DC-3, and bam, I think the next day I had one.
He knows a guy who knows a guy, and
he knew it, and somewhere, and I went and got it, and he probably made his 10%, and I paid $55,000 for it. It was real nice, just cash.
You handed over,
and I'm trying to think of which one's which. I remember it was. Oh gosh, that thing was lovely. It had pigskin ceilings.
It was like an executive interior.
And there was great big seats, and each one of the fold down tables had the exotic woods of the different countries.
Oh, all right.
Oh my! To take that out made me sick. It was just like defiling some art piece,
Yeah,
really.
So you buy this DC-3. You basically, or any airplane that you were buying, you basically got the interior, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
And then how do you configure it for hauling a load? What would you change?
I would take everything out, and then I would call my linoleum man, and he would come and put gook all on the floor and put linoleum just under the windows, all the way around where there was no seam whatsoever, all the way back to the baggage compartment.
Okay.
So not a seed could get in the
no evidence because
no evidence
whatsoever. And so I always take gasoline in a big rag, and after the marijuana's out, I wipe the floor and the walls down real good so there's nothing in it, and throw the rag away.
Okay. So your linoleum guy.
Our linoleum guy.
He's your. Do you even say like, hey, I'm just carrying? Do you even make?
I just like linoleum in my planes.
Or like, does he know what you're up to?
What's it to you?
Yeah. What's that conversation?
I expect he knew what was going on.
Okay.
It was a don't ask, don't tell policy.
Of course.
The cash was green, and
20 people working in the fixed base operation.
Yeah.
They all knew. I'd put hoses and stuff and clamps and this and that, and I had fuel caps with hoses on them. And all that good.
Well, so what's the range of an unmodified DC-3?
1,000 miles.
And how far were you flying DC-3s?
Not much further than that because I'd fuel them up.
Okay, so you weren't putting tanks and stuff.
Yeah, I put tanks in them. I don't remember what it was. I had to come further than that. So I remember I had 2 tanks inside. One, I think they're both DC-3 tanks, and they were just under the window on both sides, strapped in professionally, and a big hose that met in the middle, and then to the hooked up to
just tied it in the fuel system somewhere. Right?
Yes. So that's what I had on that one.
Okay. So like the linoleum guy, the guy's maintaining your airplanes. The guy's installing these fuel tanks. Everyone sort of knew what you're up to, but no one kind of... Okay.
100%.
And your mechanic, right? In your book, you talk about that for a long time, you had someone that really maintained your airplanes really well, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
Did he get a cut of it? Do you know what you were doing? How?
Yeah, he was a master. I mean, just absolutely. He won the upholstery for antique cars or antique airplanes for the whole United States. So he was just meticulous. When he did something, it was just beautiful.
Sure.
So I paid him to keep my airplanes in good shape and to bring them to me. Because if I was in Colombia or Mexico somewhere and I had a load there of a ton or whatever, by the time I go home and get the airplane and come back, it ain't quite the same. every time. So it was. So I said, all right, it's worthwhile for me to pay him to bring an empty plane down, and so he'd bring me the plane down empty.
Okay, so he's well compensated for all of this.
Yeah, and I'd pay him $5,000 flight down. He'd get off and to catch a jet back.
Yeah,
There was nothing to him. He
well, nothing legal about that.
That's right, except getting caught right there on the ground. But
Yeah.
could be, but he wasn't worried about it.
Yeah, his risk was relatively low.
Wow.
So.
Okay. Okay. So the planes are maintained. You get this DC-3. It's all specced out. Linoleum, fuel tanks.
Wait.
Hold on.
The DC-3 requires a type rating.
Oh.
Does it?
And 2 pilots.
Now, that was a problem. The type rating didn't bother me. You can print those up real easy. But I'll have to tell you about the type rating. Anything over 12,000 pounds requires 2 pilots.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to pay a pilot to go with me. And plus, I found out a long time ago that most people would tell on you.
You can fake the type rating. You can't fake the co-pilot, can
That's
you?
right. So nobody has ever checked my license except one time the DEA. So you don't even have to have it. It's just like they just non-existence.
Yeah, that's
at least
small, but it's the least of your problems. It's the type rating situation.
So
he wasn't worried about his landing currency either. I'm pretty sure.
That's right. But whenever you do land in a DC-3, certainly the tower's looking at you, and you got to have 2 pilots up there.
Yeah,
somebody certainly say something. So as I was saying, anybody that would go with me, I didn't trust. And to find a pilot that would go with you, you're going to want a bunch of money. So, all right. So I had my sister Kay. My sister Kay's an alcoholic, and she is a wonderful sweetheart. I mean, she just makes you laugh wherever you are. She's just a bundle of fun. But just back yonder, she was on to that sauce. I mean, she'd get drunk in a minute.
And just to confirm, she's not a pilot.
No.
Okay,
of course not.
Just to make sure.
So, Kay, I said, Kay, how about you being my pretend pilot? And I'll pay you to ride down there. So you put your hair up and be my pretend pilot. Boy, she loved that. So I'd fly down. I was flying loads out of Oaxaca at that time. And so I'd put enough fuel in to go all the way to Oaxaca, I reckon, and back. I did. It's a long way down there. I guess about 9 hours flying. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a long way.
So, but I didn't have fuel goods, and I landed there, and they put 2.5, 3 tons in there and fly back. But
wait, did you carry fuel like in drums in the airplane on the way down?
Yeah, I did drums, but I had also those 2 big DC main tanks, and I think they carried like 500 gallons apiece or something like that. Okay, carried a lot of fuel.
Yeah,
and so I was in Houston with Kay, and we was on our way down, and I guess we'd leave about dark when you go get down there about daylight. So Kay says the gas boys are filling up the tank, and I'm pumping into those inside tanks without him knowing, and he's cussing like, "How much gas?" This thing.
So he's just filling it over the wing, and you're pumping it inside.
So it takes 6 hours or something to fill that thing up with all that thing with the little hose he had. But anyhow, I had to stay there right with him, and so Kay said, "I'm going to go get us some sandwiches."
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. So she went across to the Holiday Inn or something. It was maybe Saturday night. And so after he got it fueled up and I paid for it, I went over there, and there she was with her foot up on that brass reel entertaining the cowboys. She looked good back there.
At the bar, huh?
Yeah. So anyway, we got the sandwiches and got in the plane, took off, and she's sitting up there happy. And it got up about 11,000 feet, and it's raining, slanging on the windshield. And little bit bumpy. I'm freezing to death. I'm freezing to death. I said, well, go back. I got a coat and something in the suitcase. And so I went back there, and I saw that she had the suitcase open. She got some clothes on, some wrapped around her, laying on the floor asleep. I'd slide my flashlight back there. I just laughed and kept on flying. Must have been about halfway across the Gulf of Mexico, and it bumping out there at 11,000 feet in the rain, hitting the windshield hard. And both engines just quit. Kaploop. At the same time. What on earth? Man, start down.
This is your like 3rd flight maybe in the airplane at this point?
Oh, I don't know, 4 or 5.
Okay.
You know,
okay. So you're not super familiar with the plane.
Well, enough as you
bit,
can
yeah,
get. Ain't
yeah.
much up there.
Yeah.
3 instruments, something,
Okay.
So there really wasn't much up there on
Yeah.
those old airplanes. It just
Right.
off and on, and that
Yeah.
was it. So I looked and I thought, good Lord, what in the world? Because both engines are quit. Saying got to be fuel. And I thought about that tanks I have, and I had where they were being fed out of there. There was a big manifold and a lever on it. And it just dawned on me, and I shined the light that, and my sister Kay had her foot on it. She cut both of them off. So I jumped out of the seat and run back there without thinking about pulling the power back. I just
Is the plane's on a? Well, I guess now that
no autopilot. No autopilot. It's just falling off to the left. And I'm running back there, and I should have pulled the power back. I'd have been all right. I just didn't think of it.
Yeah, who would have?
And so I turned that valve back on, and both of them engines, that cold fuel hit that hot thing. Wham! And it stood up on its nose.
You're climbing uphill back to the cockpit.
Into the baggage compartment back there.
Slipping on the linoleum.
Absolutely. I'm all the way in the back. And here I had to climb my way back up there and get in the seat and get that thing straightened out. I was scared.
I bet you were.
I had time to get
I'm scared.
I had time to get scared on that.
How long do you think it took you to climb back up there?
A minute, half a minute.
Wow.
Somebody, just going by the windows and grabbing and trying to get up there. Jesus. It's going to roll this way and that. You know how they'll fall off.
Oh, yeah. Huh? And Kay's still asleep at this point?
I think, yeah, she never woke up.
Hey guys, Dylan and Max here. Thanks for watching the video.
Listen to the full interview at the link in the description and subscribe to the 21.5 Show anywhere podcasts are heard.